Morning. Today we're going to do George Peak. I've done it twice before and I'm going to do it again. It's going to be 3 of us unless somebody else has actually joined, and I'm looking forward to it. It's got quite a nice view at the top there, and instead of looking for the camera and being in anybody's way the moment we set to start walking, I thought I just may as well do the inlay now. We can go and do it. I've done it before. I've done Craddock Peak. If I've done Craddock Peak, then one can do George Peak. And Friday today, not Friday the 13th, so let's go and do it. This is where we enter. We're going to go into and through this forest and then on to Sampieshoogte. Dit lyk daar asof dit 'n lekker dam kan wees. Dit lyk asof dit skoon gemaak is. Ek vir daai peppers, ek het toevallig mos 'n pepperspray ook. En ek het nog nooit die ding gebruik nie. Om die waarheid te sê, vat ek hom nie eers saam nie. Gister besluit ek gaan hom toets. Net kyk of hy eintlik kan spuit, want hy is vol. En hy maak so lang. Baie goed moet net werk, want ek spuit dit weg van my af.
Ek sien altyd bang die wind waai net baie in jou eie oor.
Ja, en daai bietjie wat op my vinger was, sneeze ek vir die volgende 10 minute hoor. Kom ek agter, ek dink daai goed as dit in jou oog kom, moet seker goed werk. Hierdie lyk gesond. Is oop onder. Hierdie het nie gebrand nie.
Hierdie eerste 3 kilo is al 3 afgekom.
Hoe so? Opdraande of warm word?
Ja, om warm te word, ek voel dat jy nooit goed is. Ek voel dat jy in jou beetje maar af.
Ek moes sommer nou my klein kamera in my sak gesit het, man. Toe ek my foon in my sak gesit het hier agter. Huh? Never been in this piece yet. Got spectacular. My starting point is so much closer to home. Got a nice trail, and from what I can see, probably quite popular with cyclists. If I have my bearings right here, you look down there, you've probably got Lurie Park, Glenberry probably. Ons behoort seker nie ver van Sampieshoogte nou te wees nie. Net hier, ek behoort net hier te wees. Ja, ek sien hom nog. Nou het ek 'n goeie idee, danksy vandag, waar ek sou beland as ek eendag besluit het om hier af te gaan. Probleem is, wat maak ek dan as ek al onder is? Tensy ek beoog om in die veiw te wees, om terug op te kom weer. Dit gee my nou 'n goeie idee. Hier kan 'n mens met jou ek in jou pad. Progressing on Sampieshoogte here. You're still gonna have to basically turn back. Taking the longer way today instead of Witfontein where I normally start, because of some weariness some people have of the safety at Witfontein, which is why we've got bit further to walk on some piece of work here today than it would normally be before we actually get to the basically the start that I'm used to when starting from Witfontein. Piece of work there. Just look at all these trees that have blown down, dead trees that have blown down. Almost a bit demoralizing walking in the wrong direction here first to get onto the trail, and we'll get there. Look at these yellow flowers here. Lots of them. We'll see what we have further up the mountain. This is, of course, one part of the entire trail. We've actually got to go steeply down before you start ascending again. We get to two little streams, which we're going to get to now. That's some of my water I'll fill up there. So, yeah, pros and cons with this option. I've got a more systematic incline. Making a mistake, it does work on you. And then there's another option where it's up from the start and you don't have to first descend to start ascending again. But it's just a lot steeper. And we're taking this one today. This is the same one I've walked. I've done 10 times so far. Twice for George Peak, third time today, and 8 times for Cradle Peak. I should have brought some extra socks because this grass is all wet still, unlike the other day. So anyway, first down and then up towards the railway line, which will be the next best goal. From the railway line, it's going to be zigzagging up. There's this stream and there's going to be another smaller stream not too far from here, and that is basically your water source for the entire day. So always bring enough water. The pros about this trail is the popularity, because you can see plenty of people have walked here before. So it's always open. Somebody has broken down that stick or that branch or whatever, making way. Always fairly open. Over the first stream, work basically hasn't actually started yet, because we've still got another second little stream, then the work starts, and I can feel my boots and socks are going to get wet unless this sun swiftly dries out all the wet grass. So even if it's just short clips, as we progress, put them all together, we'll get to that second stream now. Stream number 2. one of the few signs which is also disappearing, blowing down here. Oh well, I'm sure at some stage they'll revamp the signs and maybe even put up some more. Got my music in me, so I have no idea if I'm speaking too loud or too softly. Railway line, next goal. I don't hear myself huffing and puffing when I'm listening to my music. We've just reached the top railway line. And so we go on. I'm a little bit ahead here. Would be courtesy to send a message and ask if it's alright if I continue. I think I might just take a minute or two here and at least just ask first. I know they've walked this before, so they'll know they must turn right, and there's a little sign there. Another broken down sign, nothing more than a pole. Anyone with common sense will know we ain't going that way, we're going that way. Wonder how often off or when lost this has actually been used by a vehicle. Quite a way with this before we get to the railway line. Top railway line, of course. Pretty good a view. Nice view already over town. And if you look very carefully, there's Hester and Adele coming up. We've just reached the top railway line. And so we go on. I'm a little bit ahead here. Would be courtesy to send a message and ask if it's alright if I continue. I think I might just take a minute or two here and at least just ask first. I know they've walked this before, so they'll know they must turn right, and there's a little sign there. I had to film that because they are so few and far between that there's no guarantee we're going to see another one, although I can't say for certain because it's been, I think, over 2 years now since I've been on this trail, but they're few and far between. Good to see they're coming back. plenty of yellow flowers. The reason I'm filming them is because I don't know if we're going to see them as we get higher, whether they're like this particular elevation or not. Beautiful. I don't know if this video does justice to the incline. It's climbing. Uppy with these stairs at some places. Other times, no planks, stairs. I'm pretty much ahead. I've sent it WhatsApp. So far, I haven't noticed a reply, so I'm moving ahead. If they've been over the top railway line, they would have known they must turn right there and then take the left turn of the railway. I can take plenty like this, but there's so much of it to come. The best one is going to be at the top, obviously. May as well show one from time to time to see how much smaller this town becomes, and things like that tower. I love the flowers that are around. I love the flowers like these and these. I do recall this spot where the passes open up a bit towards the left, and you've got quite a nice view over the left here, looking down. Got your railway in the Outeniqua pass, and you can only see a part of the Montague from this angle. There, Montague. All of this is on our left here, and it gets better and better. Lots of white rocks. One of my favorite sections, these. One of my favorite sections. Let me sound more enthusiastic. I am enthusiastic, people, even if it may not sound like it, but actually I am, yeah. This town, and uppy we go, systematically. And now we had another section that basically zigzags up, nice and systematic. I've just spotted the other two further towards the bottom. I'll check my phone now to see if there's been any reaction. Looks like I'll be able to see them for quite some time and track their, see what pace, how they're doing. I'm just going at my average pace here. I've got a goal. I want to get up there and spend some time up there. It's a beautiful view there. I almost feel like I can do Craddock today if I wanted to. It's like I've just got this, so far so good. No lack of energy. And all of that is 1.5 eggs and 500 ml of water. So far so good. I like to use, I don't know if you can see the tower, how clearly you can see it. I like to use that as a barometer, call it what you like, elevation. Once I have clearly become higher, climbed higher than the top point of that tower, then one feels more encouraged. Steep, 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 yeah. Up here, rocks, 45 degrees. 45 degree stuff here. I hope she's seeing my messages. Already got a nice view of a town here. And clean this lens. Remember what I said about zigzagging up? This looks a bit similar to one of our previous zigs that comes to this part. Beautiful crow that's just flown away there. We look down onto Craddock, onto Outeniqua Pass, and part of the Montague Pass, the railway, and we're heading up here now. I've taken a couple of photos here in the past before. Can be spectacular. I'm going to take another one or two. Standing on these rocks here, looking beautifully down. Look at weird rock formations with water, 1 or 2 water pools in them here. Beautiful scenery here. I think there will be enough battery to show higher parts, but I would like to film this a bit. Slightly different looking terrain, rocky, some rocks to have to get up and down here, with a red flower or two on the odd occasion here. We can look down to town on that side and come valley, come grants, call it what you like, fairly down steeply that side. The weather, by the way, have I mentioned it, is perfect. They said about 15 or 16 Celsius. It feels like about that. No wind, nothing, no clouds, hardly a cloud. Perfect weather. These little signs weren't here last time I walked here. This is obviously, well, I know it for a fact, this is where you end up going down. before you start going up again. Yeah, good advice to tell the people. If you haven't made it by 2, you are not. Now this is a nice viewpoint. You see, over all the years that I've gone walking around, I've always seen places with nice viewpoints. What makes me completely de mekaar is when I meet people and I find out that every single place is supposed to have some sort of name. Now the odds are that this one is called Breakfast Rock. There is some other so-called Breakfast Rock somewhere, and this is probably it, because you've got a stunning view down to town if you sit on this rock, and maybe a nice place to have your coffee and so on. Or you can stand here. You don't want to fall down here. You don't want to fall down here. I've taken photos of that, looking down there quite a couple of times before. You don't want to fall down here. Beautiful, yeah. George in the background there, hopefully, if you can see it. I was just thinking that there are actually advantages of being at about this elevation now as opposed to higher, because you actually get to see more detail. I'd say we're probably we're probably about the half of the elevation now of climbing. When you're sitting here, I'm just having a smoke and breakfast on what I presume is Breakfast Rock. I was just thinking, I've realized it before. When you're at this height, yeah, you actually see more of the detail of all the houses, the color or whatever, the branches of the trees or whatever, stuff like that. Or maybe even like this tower here, you get to see more detail of that building, for instance, etc., etc. And of course there are advantages of going higher. You simply look further, and of course once one is at the top there, we're going to be looking further towards, well, actually from here you can see it, there's wilderness already. You can see it. I don't know if there's wilderness in Victoria Bay and etc., etc. As soon as I've had this here, then as soon as I've finished having this very, very healthy smoke, then I'll carry on walking. Just want to clean this lens here. Just a little bit of a decline. We've just come down from there, from what I presume is Breakfast Rock. I mean, you've got this rock and that rock and whatever. To me it's a rock with a nice view. There, that's where we were, Nana, sitting at the top of that there, having 2 eggs and some water. Two eggs for breakfast. And it's like I've missed, what's quite interesting, I've missed, or have I can't remember. No, 2019 I came into George Peak. So yes, it was burnt. I did George Peak purposely in 2019 so that I could make 1-2, because I had done George Peak only once, Craddock Peak 8, and 8 plus 1 is 9, and I don't like number 9. So I had to come and do George Peak last year once so that I can make it Craddock 8, George 2 equals 10. So yeah, that was after the fire, which was in November 2018. Time for a pick here maybe, with those flowers and all that. And it did look very, very different. Nice and green now. One of the very nice, fairly levely spots is almost done with before we start climbing again. Before we start climbing again. I have to say, the George Peak, right in the middle of your picture, looks a lot closer suddenly. Certainly cannot get lost here. Really very nice walking in this particular part because you're constantly looking towards Craddock Pass. I keep saying Craddock Pass. Montague Pass and well, you can't see Montague. Outeniqua Pass, thank you very much. On your left hand side, and when the trees aren't in the way, George on your right hand side of this. Let's call it a crest if we like. We can also give names. I'm also going to give names to things. Let's call it the crest. Follow the crest up to the saddle. I know I'm higher, but I can't believe how much. It doesn't feel like I'm that much higher for the air to feel that much thinner already. Pretty steep, but I know the spot. I know the spot. And you just go up and you get just to there. You really gotta find something extra to do the last little bit still up, which you can't see from here, so it could be demoralizing for somebody who hasn't seen it before, that they reckon this is the highest before the saddle, but not to be. But I know, because I've done it before. What is this constant message I get about not enough card space? Like a technical error, but I know the e-space, and I know the chances are 99% it's busy recording. I have to record this part, some of these parts, to remind myself about the bouldering at some ports, and then relatively level again. Yeesh. At least you are systematically climbing a bit of steep climbing further up there. Good workout today. You're not going to see them on this camera. I can hardly spot them with my eye, but they are there having breakfast, I think. And up we go, and up we will go up. Turn off an obvious other viewpoint. If I remember correctly, it's round about here where somebody, I think, buried maybe a dog or something. There's a little cross somewhere. Funny I didn't notice it earlier at the other spot. I knew it was on one of the two. Anyway, small things like that you remember. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Looking steeply down here.
come valley, come gorge, call it what you like. George Peak does look fairly reasonable suddenly. Just another obvious spot for people to chill on. Probably find umpteen people sit on that rock looking down on town. Anyway, we have to go up. We have to. We don't have a choice. Now, this is where it starts. Probably about 30-degree angle. At least 25, 33, somewhere around there. Check this. Cole, we're getting closer and closer to the saddle now. Still zigzagging up here. George Peak is towards the right there now, as it's been most of the way, of course. And we're still zigzagging. What I do like about when you start reaching this height is that you start looking at the Swartberge as well. You look at the right place, start seeing parts of the Swartberge now. Of course, on Vensterberg, that's the ideal spot for that kind of thing. But Vensterberg is something completely different compared to here. George Peak is George Peak. Vensterberg is Vensterberg, and so it goes on. I can see them at the bottom there. My guess is that they about 2.5 kilometers of trek behind. They're on their way. I have messaged them. As long as I can see them from time to time, that's good. And vice versa, I suppose. If I can see them, hopefully with a touch of luck they can see me, if it's of any concern. Jeez, this is heartbreaking stuff here. Steep. Heartbreaking is not the word. Heartbreaking sounds nice actually, compared to demoralizing. Steep. This is 45, 50 degree stuff here. I remember taking a short video clip of this at a stage, and that video clip just did not do justice to this place as an example. How steep it is. You very quickly gain height at parts like this. Now I'm going to show you what I was talking about earlier. Anybody who's walking this for the first time could be thinking right from towards the bottom that this is going to be the saddle here. Then they get here and they find, oh no, there's more, fairly another steep one. Another very short downhill here, and then up there. That's the saddle. Check these rocks here. This could be a nice photo too. Of course, she's so much closer to George Peak here. It looks like a hill. It's only if you've walked here and you're taking a photo that you know what the significance of the photo is, where you had to get to be able to take it. Don't know how clear it is, but this here, last stretch, last up before the saddle. And then we're going to turn right, go there. Nice and soft soil here. Good for the ankles and knees and stuff. This here, there used to be a sign. It's supposed to be a thingy that is running water, a fountain. This is supposed to be a fountain. When people say fountain, they expect it is a little bit of running water there. Now, I'm going to fill up here, believe it or not, but actually used to say fountain. Many times when people say fountain, they expect this sprinkling water coming up, which is not always the case. This is your only water source going up. Houston, we may have a problem in terms of view. Just look at all these sudden clouds coming up there now, or condensation, sudden condensation. I hope for their sake as well. I actually just took a photo now to remind myself what it looks like there towards the left hand side, because this is popping up from nowhere, and we'll see how thick it becomes, and only time will tell whether we're actually going to have a view when we get to George Peak, whether we're going to be in the clouds, below them, or possibly above them. That we will see, unless they hopefully disappear and come and go and disappear by the time we're at the stage that we're at George Peak. I've seen before how quickly things can change with these clouds. I must confess, I think they did say partly cloudy to clear, something like that, but it's been all a case of clear this morning, becoming partly cloudy now. But anyway, come on, saddle, where are you? Saddle, saddle, saddle. Almost there. It looks slow, but amazing how fast it actually is, seems to be moving. So never be deceived. There's one cloud that decides it wants to be there now, in the way of everything. Let's see how much higher it goes now. Eureka! We are meters away from the top of the saddle. Not the highest point of the saddle, but the saddle. And perhaps you can now see the significance of it. Turn left here to go to Craddock Peak. You turn right here, go to George Peak. Craddock Peak's up there, which is 220 meters higher than George Peak. Talking to myself here. Morning, guys. My friend, yeah, I'm just.
Did you do the traditional route?
Yeah,
Okay.
not my
Going
first
to
time.
Craddock.
I feel like Craddock. I suddenly feel like Craddock, but I'm waiting for two friends, and they want to do.
It's not that far from here.
Yeah, no, I've done it 8 times,
Okay.
but that was in 2018
Oh.
when I was fit. I didn't have this thing on me, and I used to be fit. So, but I don't know if I think I can do it.
Yes.
But they want to do George, so I'm going to wait for them, and let's go and do George.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You got a good point there.
But meaning you can go to Craddock and then to George and down the other side.
Yeah, yeah. You can go down to the other side, and then you'll end up there going all the way around. Even if you want to go the far way down past the hut, Tierkop hut, and then down to the dam and so on and so on. All right, cheers, guys. See you. Good for you as well, by the way. Good for you guys as well. That was a nice conversation. Can you see the significance of the saddle to me now? And as well as the people, group, a fairly fit group that have just come up. They all look super fit compared to me. This Craddock Peak is up there with the little buildings. She made a good point. You may have heard on the video. She made a good point and said you can go and do both. One can never underestimate yourself. If one wants to, one could do both. But let me send a message to say to my 2 colleagues to say I'm at the saddle and that I can wait if they want me to. Otherwise, I'm turning right. There's Craddock left. George is right. We're on the saddle, like I said. I've sent my message. I love these cloud formations that change the whole time. I don't mind clouds. I hope they stay like they are, where they just continuously change. You've still got some sun, clouds here, sun there, shifting around, coming up, moving upwards. Pretty. Anyway, I've sent my message to say that I'm on the saddle. No response to it. I sent a message to say I'm on the saddle and I can wait if they want me to. See, people I just spoke to went on that towards that side, towards Craddock Peak. It will be a nice achievement, and I'll be more than glad for Esther and Adele when they make it up to George Peak. She's really been talking a lot about it, so I know for a fact it means a lot to her. Had she been by herself and not had company, I'd be accompanying her a bit. But I noticed that they gel quite nicely right from the beginning. They've known each other for quite a while already, obviously. So she's getting a lot of support from Adele and vice versa. George Peak is ahead of us there. That woman wasn't exaggerating when she said you can do both if you want to. You know, you never know. If I could know what time Adele and Esther would reach the saddle, for instance, then I'd be able to know whether there's a small chance of enough time to first go up to Craddock, turn back, and then maybe catch them at the saddle and do George. Mr. Brave. And I'm not even nearly as fit as I was in 2018. But I can make it. I can make it up to you. Stunning weather. I'm definitely just going to sit there and enjoy the view while I wait for them. I'm continuously looking down there as I speak. Come on the Zoom thing. I'm continuously looking down there to see if I can spot them. Not yet. Unless that cloud's in the way, they possibly... Let me have a look again. No. Quite a nice feeling being above a cloud or two for a change. And it looks like we've got a very good chance that we might actually have a view when we're on the peak. That's what most people want. They want a nice view when they reach whatever peak they're trying to summit. Wake my heart. Cool. I'm looking towards my right hand side here. Looking at thicker and thicker clouds, but what seems to be the common pattern here is that they seem to go around the summit. They're going around. They don't really seem to be lifting any further. Stay at the current height or elevation, and then they move around the hill, come summit, call it what you like. And then on the left here, you've got the interior side of the mountain, where clouds are thinner, but they are there, and there's clearly moisture in the air. It's not, I've seen clearer air, so it's just some moisture in it there. Great temperatures. I don't know what the temperature is, but it feels like 16, 17 to me. Perfect weather conditions today. No rain, no wind, not... Ladies and gentlemen, frightening stuff. Just kidding. Check the clouds coming up behind this little hill here now. So time will tell whether we're going to peak in time or summit in time, whatever the word is, to be able to say that we've seen town from up there. It's got an interesting experience. It looks like smoke, doesn't it? Cool. It looks like smoke coming up from the right hand side, which is the George side. Some severe smoke, huge fire somewhere. We're about to go into the smoke here. Oh no, it's clouds. It's clouds. Interesting. Now, of course, we're going to have to climb there again. Just because you're on the summit doesn't mean to say it remains level. So, quite a descent, and then quite a ascent again. May as well record a little bit useful, because as we get there, we won't see the clouds so much. It'll be slightly to the other side there. Not until he's on top. I quite love these clouds. Look at that. Beautiful view. Now, one thing someone's got to say is it's been a pretty muddy affair. The pro is that it's been soft terrain to step on. Not muddy everywhere. Beautiful. Last stretch before the summit. Other side of the mountain, or should I almost say middle of the mountain. You're going to see more of it now. Last bit of climbing. Last bit of climbing. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Maybe the next clip will be at the summit. These clouds are moving in here. And my guess is that they're in the clouds now. I will see if they end up getting ahead of the clouds, or if the clouds subside. We'll just have to see how high these clouds decide to go, yeah. Still makes for a good photo. I constantly look back to see if I can spot them. No, like this. Sorry if you hear me singing like this sometimes. I've got my music on me. Yes. We have reached the peak. Hi guys. I've got to wait for my two friends, but they're far behind still. George Peak. Because I don't think they're even at the saddle yet. When did you guys arrive?
20 minutes. Yeah, just a couple.
Oh, okay. You come up this way, yeah?
From where did you come?
Oh, there's the old dam again. No, from the... Yeah. Summited, and it's about 11:15. Some people sitting up here, they've also just happens to be that they arrived shortly a while ago. So but I'm not going to go anywhere until they arrive here, until my two colleagues arrive here. Beautiful. Check these clouds. I don't know how long they're going to be here now. I didn't want to interfere too much. It just happens to be those other three kids that were here earlier had obviously summited, from what I could pick up, practically at the same time as I did. So they were sitting here enjoying the view over that side. First come, first serve. And now this mistiness has moved in, where you can hardly see anything. So it seems like I was in time to be able to see a couple of beautiful things. Unless it opens up, I feel sorry for Esther, that they may not be able to see as much of town or the other side. But this clears up and goes and clears up and goes, and for all you know, because there, by the way, we're looking on the George side, we're looking down on George now. And yeah, we're on the interior side, looking down onto the interior side. And there, believe it or not, which you can't even see, is Craddock Peak and the saddle. We should have to say the saddle first and Craddock Peak further up. The clouds are in the way. Anyway, it's worth it. The last time I did this was in 2018. No, 2019. Last year. But I think it was only at about the beginning of last year. Yeah, I think it was January, February, somewhere around there. But it's worth it. Stunning, yeah. Still at the peak. I'm still at the peak. Been hanging around here, and why not? It's stunning. For about 1.5, let me see, 11:30. It's almost 12:30 now. 1.25 hours. Just around about well over an hour. And I want you to have a good look at how these clouds just keep changing. One moment you think, come on, zoom in please. Would you kindly zoom in a little bit? One moment it looks totally open. Well, not totally. Certainly it looks like it's about to open totally. You know what? I've just seen a little mouse here. I just saw a little mouse on George Peak here. Cute, man. Watch those clouds as they shift along. Clearly the level has gone down. And then yeah, you've got this bunch sticking up a little bit higher again on the left hand side here. But everything that's above town is at least a bit lower. Funny how you can still hear just about the entire town, even from all the way up here. But I can tell you that as soon as you go this side, which let's see if we can see anything. No, we can't yet. We did earlier with photos, possibly even with this, can't remember. As soon as you go on that side, you do not hear a thing when you're on the inside of the mountain there. So I've got over enough time to hang around, and why not when you've got such a stunning view and watching cloud formations change the whole time. And I don't think there's any doubt, I've surprised myself a bit, so I don't think there's any doubt that I'll do it again. I see this peak from home every day. The moment I get onto the stoop, there's the house, there. And I keep thinking, man, it doesn't look that high. I should be able to do it again. And yeah, can be done. Let's see if you spot that mousey. Should be about in the middle of the screen there. Hello, mouse. See the black spot in the middle? Somebody's left some sort of crumbs or something here for him. Very intelligent, brave mousey. brave, Melsie. Almost came to my feet here on George Peak. How did you get here, Melsie? Let's do a bit of a 360 here, because it's opening up again a bit there. This is on the interior side, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on here, but if you look, there's the George Dam. Still cloudy, old George Dam. As dit ook net hierdie kant meer oop sou raak, sou ek makliker vir jou kon wys. There's Craddock Peak. Just sticking out above the clouds on the right hand side there. Cloudy, otherwise you would see the Swartberge. If it wasn't cloudy, you'd see the Swartberge there, and obviously part of the Outeniqua. But George's side is opening up. George's side is opening up a bit here. Now we're at the stage where we can see Heatherlands, Heather Park, Fern Ridge, Glenberry, and our area, and even the little airport for the fire department, and even all the way up back to the sea again. It's opened up a bit here. Was worthwhile hanging around here. Was worthwhile hanging around here. Just look at these clouds. It's interesting how they always move in and out and in and out. Hoe operig is dit daar, Esther? Sien jy daai dam? Dis nou die ou George Dam wat jy nog nie by was nie.
Ek het al te daar gestap.
Ja.
Maar dis ook 'n maklike stap.
Ja, hy's alles gelyk.
Maar arme
Gonna record much going down, but we're heading down again, and I'm gonna stick around with him in case they maybe need a bit of help pushing up, pulling up or down, or whatever, holding on the way down. But I might make a recording here and there. I don't know how old these rocks are. Very old. I don't know what rocks they are, but I would love to know. I must look in that geology book I got. Ek kry vir my 'n boek nou die dag. Daai chocolate wat nou uit die market is, wat almal so chocolate, ja. Hy het mos so skurwe edge. I said I'm not going to record much on going down, but in terms of elevation, we are arguably halfway down already. This is my second recording since coming all the way down from there. Ons kom nou net van daar. Daar, ja? Daar. Ons kom van daar af. Daar, daar ene. En nog steeds pragtige uitsig. Mens sien meer detail van die dorp as jy laer is. Dan sien 'n mens meer boompies, dakkleure en sulke dinge. So daar's voordele en nadele. Weg is die wolke, hè. Weg is hulle. And I'll film this earlier. Looking at the past there with these rocks here. We just happen to be going down now. Ja, okay. Ek kom uithaal vir jou. Goodbye to that side. Yeah, this zig. Okay. We just put a phone back in here. Wees om te record vir my. Daai kant toe. Hou jy nou vir my hierdie ding sommer vas so. En wys hom sommer daar iewers. Net waar jy wil dan. Ons hy. Mooi ne? Lekker stabiel.
Ja.
En is klein. Okay, I think I've now recorded enough again. Ek het mos gesê, I'm not going to record everything all the way down, but we've got our geel blomme again. We've got our yellow flowers coming again. With these, dis mooi, ek het nie genoeg van hulle gesien vandag nie. Ons nog nie genoeg van hulle nie, ek dink meer van hulle kom. Look at this man. Ek maak dit nie op net vir die video nie, dit is mooi. Al hierdie geel en pink en dan wit.
Hy vrou stap nou om by die huis te kom.
Hm?
Hy vrou stap nou om by die huis te kom.
Ek wou nou net sê sy motor, nee. Al is dit net vir 'n rukkie, al is dit van agteraf. Moenie eers worry of jy op fokus is of nie, hy is daai ding is nie stabiel.
Ja, want ek kan nie fokus op my paadjie en op hierdie.
Dis ook waar, jy is nie, dit, jy wil nie...
Ek is nie gewoon daaraan
Jy
nie.
is nie gewoon daaraan nie, ja. Stap hier aan die regterkant, dan gly jy nie. Daar's mos trappies daar. Ingeboude trappies vir ons daar. Een van die plekke waar jy duidelik kan sien, ander mense het verskeie kere al getrappe. And we're not too far from the railway. And then from there, fairly steeply down to the river we crossed earlier this morning. Almost at the second stream already. And then a bit of up, and then all basically level with a gravel road by the name of Sampisoogte. Nice foresty section this. Nie wat ek kon sien nie, ek wou nou net ophou film in geval sy jou sit. Maar ek sien nog nie. Ek ook. Ek dink ook so, ja.
Want ek kan nou nie help nie.
Looks like something's been done here. First time in my lifetime here that I see some logging taking place here and tidying up and making use of wood that can be used even after the fire. Time will tell whether they're going to be cleaning this forest even more. Same fairly lengthy piece of forest that I've never been on before. Filming backwards here as we head down and get very, very close to the vehicles now. It's quite nice here. Ferns. Nice open piece of road here. Dit lyk na 'n lekker stukkie pad hierdie. Net vir oefen. Jy het stukkies woud. En dit is lekker oop. Waar is dit nou, Adel? O, aan die kant plet. Ek dog jy praat van Sleeping Beauty se wêreld nou. Almost at the call. Ja. Mooi. Ek het eintlik ook toe ek gestop het daarbo, moes ek gepause het en sommer my foon op sleeping mode gesit het. En ek het hom toe gepos, maar ek moes dit vroeër gedoen het op die ou ende. Vroeër laat pos het.
Ja, waar is my goed? Hoekom het hy nie Ag nee man.
Ag nee, Esther, moenie sê daar eet niks op hom nie. We at the car. Dit is Esther's car. Okay. Baie dankie, ja. As dit nou nie vir jou was nie, Adele, dan sou ek ook nou nie vandag gestap het nie. Sy het vir my gevra of ek kan saamkom, ten minste net terwille van hier onder of wat ook al. Dan sou ek nou 10:10 of môre moet stap met 'n groot groep. Waar ek gewoonlik, as dit moontlik is, verkies om met 'n kleiner groep te stap as dit kom by dinge soos George Peak en Craddock Peak en so aan. Sou ek eerder 'n dag soos vandag vat waar daar net 3, 4, miskien 5 mense maksimum is. As ek kon. You can't always choose. I'll say, you can't see George Peak higher than the clouds. We made it. We made it.
Kan jy